Why do I have an echo? No, because I'm not in the game, because I'm trying to figure out where the echo is from. Now say something. Nope, that didn't do it. No, maybe that did it. No, it wasn't the game. It was on the desktop somewhere, and I think it's because of Kick. Okay, now you can try and enter. Nope, nope. There it is again. What the heck? Why does it keep turning on? Oh, you should have had to download a new. Okay. For some reason, when I tried to get out of the Kick dashboard, it turns the volume on to the Kick stream, and that's what was creating the echo. Yeah, and when I mute it, and then when I get out of that screen, then it would re-kick it back on when I was trying to get into Streamlabs. So I guess I'm gonna have to run my Streamlabs kind of off, so to speak. You know, I'm gonna keep it hidden, but that's what was going on. And then, of course, because I don't run Kick all the time, I'm not used to it.
Can be surprising too. Sometimes it's about being at the right
I was
place at the right time.
I've been watching the Tour de France this last month because it was in July, and I'm on the last 3 miles, I think, of the whole thing. I was hoping to get it finished before the stream, but
A wise man once said that the best lessons are learned under the wide open sky.
yeah, it's a little slow for some reason. It was slow for me. No, it was slow for me when I was loading in tonight too.
Music.
It don't have any music on, I don't think.
No, I gotta.
You gotta go in the settings to change that.
Thought I.
In the art of farming, the soil is the canvas.
Oh, wait.
The seeds are the paint. And the harvest is the master.
I don't know.
Well, it does that if you sit there and
I know why, because like it had to restart because I changed to windowed mode, is what I wanted. So when I alt tab out, it doesn't minimize the window. And I remember having to do that 22, but I forgot to change it before I got going. There we go. So yeah, I had a second in the background while this is trying to load. Ports. Okay. Last time.
Well, if I have to.
No, it pushed through it, but it gave that error I was last time, like a bug report thing. And we'll see if the system runs a little better now.
Courseplay is more for me, but some of those bigger fields like when I'm playing in Alma, if we had Courseplay on, it'd be a lot better. So that's why I made it, and I learned how to use it. So
Let's see. I adjusted my encoder. Okay, well that's right, we done with right? Harvested.
no, you contract. I think you finished it up, and I was on another contract.
Okay, let's see.
And I
okay, well I'm in a sprayer. Is that the?
It's the next contract, and the field in front of you is what you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I couldn't remember because I know I was fooling around with my settings. I can't really remember what we actually did.
Well, we worked on the field that we actually own, and then we were working on contracts in the others.
All right. I might have to Facebook Marketplace or eBay or honestly, I should Tex 20 where you buy a... It's way RAM prices. It's gonna have to be here, and that doesn't even. That's gonna get a new computer unless I just pull it and pay the higher price. Everything else, I believe. Try and spend. Not looking good. You can see my draw distance. Racks, that's bad. Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this doesn't. This is worse than 22 for me.
Yeah. I think that might be the biggest field on the map too. Well, yes, probably no. I guess it's not, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, I thought it was a little fair one side.
Hold on a second. Well, that's why you use GPS, or that's why I've been always use GPS. You hold it, you hit the B button, or the button all the way to the right. You hold it down. And then that top part, you got to flip it over to, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then I'll bring up the lines, or well, yeah, I'll bring up the lines, and the white one is the guide you want to be on, and you just I think it's yeah, when it's green, that means you've got it turned on, and it'll follow that line. And when it's white, it means that's the line you should be on.
Okay. Okay.
Makes life so much easier. That was one of the things I was really happy they added into the game right off the bat. But the reason why I added course play is especially I maybe this map won't be so much, but when we get into, oh, that's nice. There's a tree on the map, on the field. One tree on the field. Anyways, when we get into something like Alma, Missouri, where we've got those big fields, and
Yeah.
like how we sometimes we just like the grain cart and whatnot. I can turn the harvester to just go and harvest the field, and then I can also turn the grain cart so that it runs between the harvester and the grain truck if you want it to, or you can just take the cart and grain cart it yourself. And I installed it on 25 because I love playing bigger maps that take a while to big fields that take a while, and sometimes it's just better to just automate. I'm just not in the mood to do all the tasks.
Yeah.
Well, this week.
Oh, say what you're gonna say. I noticed when I got into Discord, must have had it on my friends and it looks like Swanee's online, or he's
He is.
Okay. I usually don't go to that tab because I'm usually just okay. I didn't know if that was just an old status or what, but
No, it tells you when other people are on that are in your friends group.
yeah. Well, I thought so, but then I thought
I even see when Truck and Jay's on, like,
yeah. See,
because I've talked to him. I've talked to him on and off,
yeah.
or off stream before, so I can even see when he's on and stuff.
Well, and I'm in some other chat or servers, that calls, but I haven't lately. We just screw that kind of stuff and other things. I think I was over doing some, I shouldn't say, adding more stuff to my website and kind of, I don't know, I guess you call it kind of stuff. And I got some, I hesitate to call them goals, but I guess they are goals because they're things I want to accomplish with the website and, well, and then relates to you. But anyway, so I hadn't looking at other people on Discord or other servers. So normally I have it on the or people I'm connected to, like you, ever, and they're only ever on whenever I'm on. You're rarely on, so I thought it was odd that I saw it, and that's why I was like, well, maybe that's I hadn't been on in a while. I was like, well, maybe it hasn't updated.
Nope, he's on, but it's New Year's Day, so he probably had the day off. Happy New Year to you too.
Got some project that I want to do, and one of those is revamping a couple pages and adding pages. Yeah, working on some affiliate links. Well, and then there's some stuff plans summer and sponsors. I don't really. Well, actually, I am. Well, we're 4th of July. We're definitely stay here. You know, you can't do the fun stuff here. And I took some days. But the other thing, that's a thing. But then also, I am really pretty seriously thinking of driving back, hauling my trailer with my bikes and such, and showing it cruise night, which, of course, don't know the date on that.
It will be the 3rd weekend of July.
Well, see, that's why I always thought it was. Yeah.
And they should probably, if you Google it, they should already have that information up, I would think.
Well, I did a couple weeks back. Yeah, at least a couple weeks back, and it wasn't. But that doesn't mean.
Oh well, I would have thought they'd have had it posted
but
by
it's
now.
always
But it's always the 3rd week of July.
And here's the thing: I always kind of forget about it because my parents, usually go just to look, and they're like, "Oh, going to cruise night this week." I was like, "Oh yeah," it's like, went back, but also I need to contact somebody ahead of time just because I know it's still down on the brick streets. It's like, well, I kind of need to park in the middle because they they used to live back there. Park. I mean, they parked them in the, like up against the curbs, but then also sometimes in the middle of this.
On the main drag they do. On the side streets they don't.
Well, that's what I meant, the main drag. So it's like I need to talk to somebody and kind of get, maybe not necessarily reserved, but kind of discuss that, like, hey, this is my setup, so I kind of need somewhere in the middle of this. When should I show, and can you accommodate? That'll kind of dictate that a little. Sort of planning on that. That's a little. Well, I guess I should say 4th of July. That's the other thing. I kind of want to do the parade again. Tow my trailer through. And maybe parked on that, if they'll let me travel over there. Or show it. Mainly drag it through. So that's maybe a thing to. I'll be back there, kind of doing that. We can kind of Team MGR thing, me probably.
Yeah. If you can't, you'll have to let me out, and I can fill it back up.
Itch.
Because I make the person that hired us pay for it. I don't believe in us paying for it. Yeah. So. Because otherwise, even though they reimburse us, we have to pay for it up front. I just fill it and unfill it as we do the contract.
Yeah. Hopefully I did a good job on the other. Turn the... Doesn't look...
Ooh. Ooh. I think I could fix it.
Yeah,
I can fix it. I can fix it one way or another. We'll put it that way.
Well, yeah, because I didn't. Well, graphically, partly I couldn't see where I was. That graphics work.
But that's why I always run GPS, because then I know where I've been.
Yeah. Actually, I can go down.
Yeah, you're just kind of, you miss spots all over the place. I can see it.
Well, I know down at the other end of the...
If you go into the,
Yeah,
if you go into the main map and slide it over to soil composition, and just turn everything off but weeds, you can see it. You have to kind of tab over it. You see the dots at the top? Nope. Oh. See all the dots underneath the title?
yeah.
It means you got to tab over it. There you go. And one
there
more.
You go. Sorry. Yeah, I imagined. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. I knew when I started. I knew when I started for sure. I screwed that up. Okay.
Just so you know, if you take your mouse and you hit the colors, that turns off the other colors. So if all you want is weeds on, you can turn off all that other color. That's what I do. I do that all the time, especially when I'm doing contracts. I'll turn everything else off. Or if it's spring season, I'll turn everything else off.
Well, like I said, a little bit of it was hampering me is like the draw distance. Like I can't see where I haven't been until I'm like right there. Yeah, see now, like now I can totally see it, but I'm like right. I have to be like right on it. I wonder. I might after. Yeah, I can extend the draw distance. I turned it down quite a bit. I was having all that hitching running. I didn't know if that was all because of streaming software fouling things up, but it seems to be better. So after I get this done, I'll. I mean, granted, the GPS, but even then, it's like I can't tell where the weeds aren't killed until like I'm right on top.
Well, you're at 96%, so
yeah,
you
like
probably will get the.
Well,
probably will get it all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know I screwed up some. Yeah, done.
I think we get these two contracts that we're on done now. I was looking through contracts. I mean, we could pick up. There's a couple more jobs we could pick up, but they're only worth like 10,000 each. So we might just skip ahead to the next day, unless you really want to do them.
Yeah.
We could probably just skip. We're at $300,000. I don't think we're hurting for money. That must be something with kick, because it just randomly keeps kicking on. Maybe that's...
Yeah, the player sound. I know what
Yeah. Because I'll be just going
Here's
along
the
without
Restream
any.
and YouTube, same reason. But they, turn them off, they stay off.
Oh, well, this keeps kicking itself back on. Well, anyways, this week I had a couple of mornings that I woke up early, and actually yesterday I woke up. So I woke up at 4 yesterday, and I'm just sitting here, just kind of watching TV, chilling and whatnot, and I looked over and I'm like, that RC's been sitting there for a long, long time, and I was like, now that I kind of have things kind of figured out a little bit, I should just get it out and kind of mess around with it, maybe, or something, So I dug it out and I kind of started messing around with it, and it's like, you know what? I got time this morning. I could film that video I've been putting off for I think about 7 years.
Yeah.
So I filmed that, and then it's like, okay, now that I got it filmed, the next thing to do is to kind of figure out where I'm at with this RC and stuff. So I kind of was looking at it and exploring it and kind of figuring things out, figuring out what I needed and whatnot. See, there, it just kicked on again. Well, anyways.
Anyway, okay, my contract's done. You can keep talking. I am going to fool around with some stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. Which RC is?
This is the one that I got the 5 of from Amazon.
Oh yeah, jeez. Okay.
Well, anyways, if you saw the whole video, you could see that the last battery pack was melted. I think that's why they sent them to me, because I think they must have been getting complaints about them. Because these are the cheap Chinese ones.
Yeah.
And they must have been getting complaints about them, so they must have decided when because I bought that one, I think they're originally $45, and I bought that one for $20, and that's how I ended up with a 5, because they dumped the other 4 on me.
Okay.
Well, I think that's why. I think because the battery pack was melted on the one, they evidently had enough complaints or recall or whatever that they decided to dump the other ones. And if I remember right, because at one point in time I did dig through the other ones a little bit to see what was going on. I think if I remember right, the cords were cut on the other batteries so that you couldn't use them. So it makes me kind of wonder, thinking about it, as much as I see stuff, as much as I see on that RC page that you got us linked into, about LiPo batteries and stuff, I think that's what happened. I think they were either a bad batch of batteries, or actually what I think it is the chargers on these things are built so cheaply, and people don't sit there and watch them. I think they overcharge them.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And I was looking on Amazon after this, because it's like, okay, well, I don't really have a charger. So I just I wonder what they have for chargers on there, and for $37 I found this charger that does multiple different style of battery ends.
Yeah.
And it's got a screen on the front of it, and it's also supposed to be somewhat smart so it doesn't overcharge the battery. And so I'm kind of wondering. I'm wondering if I got something like that, if that wouldn't fix the problem, you know.
Yeah. Mine
But
are
then,
just like USB charger, USB chargers. So they're quote smart, but they're not charging them like hard, I guess.
So anyways, then I got to thinking about it. I was like, well, I've got because when the original idea, hold on, it just keeps flipping on me for no reason whatsoever. Anyways, the original idea was that I was going to just get a bunch of different RCs and kind of test them out and whatnot. And obviously that never really happened the way that I was thinking. And I'm just like, well, now at this point I might as well just have fun with it. But I also have all these RCs that I've stored up that I was eventually going to do videos on. And so I thought about this because, you know, like even when we were talking on the RC page, I mean, like, these are just the cheap Chinese ones. I've actually gotten nice Traxxas ones in the pile. And so I think what I'm going to do is with these in particular is I'm just going to make sure that they run, get them charged up and they run, and then sell them off.
Yeah.
And start dwindling down my RC thing, but then my RC stuff, I'll keep some of them. I'll keep the ones I actually do want to bash with. It's just 7 years removed, these aren't it.
Yeah.
But then the first one that I did was a 1/32 scale. So it fits in the palm of your hands. And the reason I stopped running that one was one of the nephews, I let him play with it one day, and he ran it into a chair or something and busted the steering servo. At the time I just knew that the steering on it wasn't very good. And I figured I was going to see if I could fix it. And then I was sitting here thinking about it today and kind of looking around and researching and stuff. And I think I only paid like $30 for that one. And although I probably could tear it apart and stuff, I think I'm just going to junk it. But I wanted to steal the tires off of it because I've got others that are, I don't know if that's the same scale, but I know that they're similar in size.
Yeah.
And the tires on this one, I think, were probably the best part of it. So I'm gonna junk that one. But today I actually, because I was like, man, I don't even remember what all I bought. And so today I kind of went through well, I shouldn't say, I know I'm missing a few. I know I'm missing at least one. And when I say missing, it's somewhere lost in the pile. It's not lost. It's just I didn't come across it this morning. But I kind of went through all of what I had, and it just kind of, it's like, okay, yeah, this is what I have, and I think I'm gonna slowly go through them and make the videos I've been meaning to make, and selling off the ones that I don't really want to keep and bash with. And
yeah, well, that makes,
but I've been kind of been kind of having fun with that the last couple days. Although I don't, it's weird because it's just all of a sudden I just had this wild hair to just okay, let's actually do this. Let's
Yeah.
actually get them out and like see what I need and stuff. Even though it's like I probably can't really get them out to do anything for a few months, because we're in the winter months. But at least I'm on it now so that I can get an inventory of what I need to run. Like I need to get a charger so I can actually charge the batteries correctly and then we talked about the printer yesterday.
Yeah.
I got it.
You sent me that one that's a 4-color deal, and well, that one would be great because A, you can just do multicolor print. I mean, you gotta buy
filaments, yeah.
print or filament, and that is a thing that if you really get into doing it, is a nice to have. But honestly, and that would be a good printer. So I'm not knocking the printer. I'm questioning where what I'm saying is I would maybe just start out with like that, like one, like you don't have to the one I exactly linked, but one around that from one of those major brands that we talked about, and just to see if this is something you want to do. And you're limited to, of course, one color, but I would just get a one color deal, like again, the one like the upgraded one like I have or similar, and see how you get along. I guess the thing is if you frustrate you, I don't think it will, but don't mind me.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to drive around, watching the draw distance, watching biking. It seems to be running good, so I'm slowly like upping my graphic settings, trying to find the limit. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of fooling around.
Oh, well, now a $34,000 job popped up.
That's why I said keep talking. I'm going to be messing with graphic stuff, but I'm about done.
Okay, well, I found us a...
Okay, let me try one other thing here. I want to see if I can turn grain quality or
well, anyways,
up one.
Last weekend I registered for Thingiverse because I just kind of wanted to.
That's one. They're printable.
I just wanted to see what was on there, and kind of start kind of.
Well, you can browse without like logging in. But if you want to save, like if you see something you want to save and make a collection of,
that's why I did it, because I noticed that I could do that, and I found some things that I came across as like I don't really want to lose contact with this and not find it later. So
yeah, well, yeah, that's smart.
so I registered real quick and stuff, but anyways, with this RC stuff, I was Googling around and kind of exploring a little bit too in the last couple days, and I'm sure you probably knew about this or you've explored it a little bit, but I pop up reels for especially rock crawling of people that make their own trains and stuff, and when I was on Thingiverse, I come across, well, actually it started on eBay. I found people that were printing that stuff and then selling it. And then on Thingiverse, I found like the models to make stuff. And it's like, I don't know why. I know why. It's because of Monster Jam. But I saw I saw the I was like, oh, you know, it'd be cool if you have a monster truck, like to have the shipping container for your bash zone or whatever you want to call it,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And so I was like, I went and found that, and I was looking at ramps that you could make because it's like I kind of want a ramp. I've I always I always build my own. I've always built my own ramps, but they're also real ghetto.
Yeah.
They're
Okay,
not.
now
They're not a nice,
okay,
nice RC ramp.
I'm with you. I'm done fooling around with my graphics. I'm gonna try this out. I got it looking better, so and that'll help me. Okay, but anyway, yeah. Well, you've seen some of my videos and pictures. Yeah, a lot of those accessory, like the.
Oh, don't park there. I got to get the header.
Let's say,
We are, but I'm getting the header attached. I kind of that's an in-game truck. I have always kind of liked that one.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, there's a they're they're not needed or impractical. Now, it's like I, you know, kind of miss seeing them on the road like.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what I'm trying to do is
do you
has to render
do you
your
want
stuff to seeing if my performance.
Okay, well,
I'm
if
gonna
you
park it here, but I'm gonna. Again, I'm still kind of testing, and I think I got it dialed in. It looks decent. I don't know what. The crop's actually right
yeah.
In the crate. I got the
Well,
Dodges.
if you want to actually, I mean, if you actually want to do something, let me know, and I'll pull one of the other contracts.
I'm getting close to it.
Actually, I'll tell you what. Why don't you jump in and run it? I'm gonna go grab some more water.
Okay. So when you get back, I might. Yeah, actually, this will. At least it. Yeah. Yeah. Big graphics. Better.
Excuse me. Well, what really got me into wanting to save Thingiverse is on I've seen them on, like, I think I originally started seeing them in Instagram Reels, like the ads,
Yeah.
where they make these little wooden bamboo houses kits that you put together, and you add a little, like, an LED to it, and then they're made so that you can put them in your plants and then light them up at night, and it's like a little wooden house, and you can, like a garden kind of a thing. And I was I was like, okay, let's see what they have, and I was Googling that, and I came across it, and I was like, well, that's almost exactly what I want, but I don't want to lose this. I don't know if I'll ever see it again or whatnot. And I was like, I'm gonna get registered now while I could still find where I know where it is and stuff. And then another thing I was looking for, and actually I'll probably end up designing my own, but
so you could take what you find and then edit it, essentially, add it, take away. I do that a lot. I find something that is almost what I want, like if it's an accessory type deal, but it's like, okay, I need to either need to scale it, or okay, I don't like they put, you know, or they didn't put handles on it, or like if it was a toolbox or something I'm trying to replicate, or like these little cooler deals, like coolers I wanted to have in the back of our RC trucks. Like, well, they were almost right, but it's like, okay, they just didn't look quite right. They didn't have the handles on this. Like, okay, just put little bumps or whatever on the side. So I just, I just enhanced it a little bit.
Well, one of the things I've wanted for about a year or two now, or about a year now, or a little bit over a year, the younger stepnephew is really into painting, and he paints at the table and does kind of get it everywhere and everything, but I was like, man, he should really have kind of his own easel. And I was like, I wonder what they have for those. So I found like a little tabletop easel that they had designs for, and it's like, the ones I saw, it was like a kind of they would work, but and they gave me ideas on making my own, but I'm like, I'll probably just make my own because I think I could. I want to do it differently. I like the idea or the concept. I just don't completely like the way it looks.
Yeah. Well, that's.
And so that was
the benefit you also have of, like, just do it day in, day out, so you know what tool to use to, like, okay, I need to put a fillet here or that to round this over.
Yeah. So I did a lot of that, and then, like I said, I found a bunch of RC stuff. More so for just a monster truck bashing kind of me, but I think eventually I'm probably going to get into a little bit of rock crawling, and I've really been interested in. I don't know, I see the videos and everything, and it's like, it'd be cool to kind of have my own course, but it's like, I also need a course that I can tear apart and whatnot. And I was like, so that kind of interests me too. But
Yeah, because then you can make indoor obstacles.
well, and then you can also always if it's made so that it's indoors and stuff. Depending on how you make it, like if you make it so it's set on the floor or set on a tabletop or whatever, you can also always change the obstacles up.
Yep.
Because what was it this last week? This guy put one in his basement in the corner, but he like for the rocks, he used concrete, and he made it so that it had kind of a rough finish, which I get, but and granted it was placed on boards, so he didn't have it more than like a inch or two thick. But I'm just like, man, that's. And he had it like how do I describe this? He had it in a spiral. How do I describe this? He had it in a spiral. He had it in a spiral going up from the bottom, and then he had it so they had a turnaround spot that kind of went out a different way, so he didn't have to go up the same way he came down, or he didn't go down the same way that he came up. But he built it in the maybe like a 4x4 room in the corner of his basement, and then he stands in the middle of it while he crawls.
Yeah.
Actually, you're the one that kind of hit the rock crawling part of, because I never really thought about it until never really thought about doing actual rock crawling with an RC until I started watching videos after you kind of started thinking about doing something like that.
Yeah, well, and I guess part of the reason why I got a crawler is, well, I want a scale model. I can, something that looks, semi-realistic. Because some of the, not necessarily, some of the, especially like the Traxxas stuff, but there's other brands too. Like the Bashers, I guess, that's the ones I'm talking about. They just doesn't really turn, I mean, yeah, they're fast and kind of cool and all that way, but they, they're not super realistic, even if you're pretending you're Robbie Gordon in the Baja 1000, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're still not even that kind of realistic for like a Baja truck or whatever. And so I wanted to, I guess, drive more realistic, I guess, or try. So I thought, okay, well, a crawler kind of thing, the way I want to go, because I want to make it, I can make accessories and all this and make it as realistic as my abilities will allow. Then I can kind of drive it somewhat realistic. And the other reason why I kind of got the square body is, well, partly because there's a lot you can do with that kind of form factor. That and the the Ford equivalent of that era. Traxxas had that body. FMS. I have. Well, that's the other thing. The FMS was cheaper and a good known up and coming brand. A lot of support, parking and all that. So anyway, but also I wanted the square body too, is also for the realism, because it's like, well, you can buy like dedicated like rock crawler stuff, like steerable axle, suspension, and it's just like, and it's kind of like those vehicles, they're not practical, you can't daily them. Well, this is kind of like more practical, and it makes a more challenging driving experience, because to get over certain obstacles, you really gotta plan your route. And
one of the things that impresses me is some of these reels that I've watched, they'll drive it to just an edge of it. They'll take something like an edge of a tabletop, and they'll hang it, and they'll drive up the edge, but they hang it so that it's only hanging on a tire. And it's a four-wheel vehicle, and they'll take that one tire and move around the edge for some, and the some kind of obstacle to help them, help them kind of bring it back up or something, and then they'll bring it back up and all fours on the tabletop again, and it's just so I guess I kind of sort of got it this way because you read in the trials, and some of these guys with their skills, it's almost like that because like I was just saying, I mean, you take the finesse it takes to just hang something without some control off the tabletop. It's one time, it's four, and then to bring that back. You know, the four wheels at the end of the video is just the finesse of it and the technique is just amazing.
Yeah, well, and that's part of what
I know. If I ever get anything, you know, like that, I guess I just kind of want to like just go over some basic, see what I can do basic, and if I can't make it, I can't make it. Maybe some that once I start that, you know, but I don't know. It's been some kind of in the bashers, but that kind of, you know, there's just something about like I still remember that the T-Max, you know, dropping it off. Hold on. That T-Max dropping it off that 10-foot cliff, and then it just keep on going, you know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of appreciating both worlds. I still like the bashers just going out, just going fast and hitting jumps as hard as it can, but I also just kind of like the finesse that some of these guys have.
Well,
I can appreciate it.
That's the thing. Tom's got kind of buys and sells them just a bit, but his are more basher. I mean, he has super, but of course you don't get a lot of runtime. It's all power and no time. Like that was the other thing. These crawlers, of course, they have like even smaller ones too, so real space consuming. But anyway, that was the other thing, is typically the crawlers, because again, not working the motors that hard, or for speed, you're not working the motor for, or like I get, depending on, like when we go, you know, hiking up the mountains, or even just recreation town that are like trails that, yeah, like both me and Tucker on, well, I bought him bigger batteries. And we had like a solid 45 minutes, maybe even up to an hour of like pretty much continual driving. You're continual driving. We can, you know, drive like a 2 mile, easily drive like a 2 mile trail, walking. That's kind of why I gravitated that way, because there was just more places to take it and to not bug other people and stuff. Because that's the problem with the bashers. Kind of got to get away from people, because again, it could hurt you if somebody ain't watching and, you know, runs into it. And then you know, a lot of people have dogs and stuff, and even with the crawlers, you know, the dog on the trail, it's either stop it or pick them up. Some dogs don't bother. Most dogs see that and basically happy.
Yeah, because it's something moving.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's I guess it's less of a need that way. It's less. Well, and then crawlers out stream, water crossing, and why you can come to that with bashers too. Like, well, they need, in general, to go fast. They need smoother terrain than hiking.
Yeah. Well, I found out today because that little RC I'm gonna junk out. I found out today because it has a well, and I think these other ones that I'm going through or I did the video on yesterday have the same problem. They have a spin out problem, and I found out today that you can make a little spoiler out of plastic, out of just a like a
down.
and it makes it so that they stop spinning out and handle better. And I was like, I didn't know that, but I was like, it's a little late now because I pretty sure I could tear it apart and look. I am pretty sure that the steering servo is broke. Is what happened to it. And I had thought about because it's like I said it's so the motor on it is I think excellent. It's an excellent motor, but the steering has never been great. And I was just like, I was thinking about, I spent a little bit of time researching today on them. I was like, what if I tear this one apart and use the parts off of it on another chassis or something, and kind of made a, which I guess I technically could still do. I could get a different steering servo. I would also need a different I need a different remote. And I would need the Ghost Stop Servo or whatever one you want to call that one. So I guess technically I could do it, and there are some brands in that scale that you can do that with, because I had kind of looked things up and seeing if I wanted to go that route or not. But I also have, although this one is probably the nicer ones of the ones I do have, I also have a lot of the same scale and different brands. That's why I'm really kind of thinking of just junking this one out. But I thought about just it'd be kind of fun to just build my own Frankenstein. Well, that was one of the things I was going to kind of ask until I kind of decided not to today. But I was like, I wondered if I could 3D print stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do the servos obviously, but I wondered if it would be durable enough if I 3D printed parts.
Yeah, they are, because I do it. Yeah, they.
Because it would be kind of fun to just, I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of thinking about how much. Part of it is I don't know how much money I really want to spend on this. And then part of the other part of me is like, well, this one's kind of fun. It's just a few things that I would like to.
Well, here's the deal. The filament, I mean, okay, once you get the printer, I mean, that's the big part. Filament,
Yeah.
like, damn near any color, you know, in PLA or P, whatever. No, ABS, but I say a little more, talking dollars per, but for like they measure them in kilograms, like a 1 kilogram roll would, you know, it's like, quote, the big roll, the most common. Buy these smaller, like, like half kilogram or quarter or whatever, and they'll not sugar. But anyway, 1 kilogram roll is somewhere between 50 and 20 bucks, and like, especially for RC, that'd last you. Well, I don't even know how you could print so much stuff. I mean, I am still on, like, since I've had my printer, I've only went through one. I'm almost through another kilogram roll, but I've only bought 2, like, black PLA 1 kilogram rolls in the 3-something years, and I've printed a lot of stuff. I mean, you're talking, like, the parts are like fractions of pennies when you figure up weight. And even something big, like, let's say you wanted to print like a bot, like you could design a bot, okay, or something. That you'd think that'd be like so much plastic. It's like that would like cost you at most like probably 3 cents in the print. It's just so it's so inexpensive.
Yeah.
The upfront cost is the printer, and then I guess you could argue the roll of plastic, but again, they're anywhere. And then the other roll, like I bought a 4-pack of all these like green, blue, and I just wanted to have some other colors, kind of standard primary colors, and it was like a 4-pack of these, and like $17. I got the metallic one about the same price, and like ones that are wood impregnated, and I've been trying to use up the wood ones because, well, they look good for some things. They're kind of hard on the nozzles, as in they wear them out, or they can tend to clog because there's actual like in there. Burn. That's a little more abrasive. But again, like, I was still on the original nozzle when I bought the thing.
Yeah.
So just replaced it. And like the nozzles, like pack of, like, you can't just buy one. You got to buy like a pack of 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, and they're like $10, like a 5-pack or 10. So you're not talking a lot of money. I mean, the money you'll have wrapped up in RCs is in the RC, or even like a servo. The problem with, like, little things like servos is, like, go to eBay, it's like you can't just buy one. You gotta buy like a lot of and then they're usually cheap. Everything depends on it. I wouldn't worry about necessarily that kind of cost. I guess the other cost is your time.
Yeah.
If you're going to design or even just modify something. So, yeah. Again, like think of your t-shirts, and I'm not, this isn't a knock, but it's like, okay, it took you a year or something to get your t-shirt done. Okay, a part could take you a year because, hey, you just don't feel like working on it, That's, you know what I mean? So,
yep.
I wouldn't
know,
worry
I get
about
it.
the cost of the plastic and all that and using it up, trying to be stingy. Just print to your heart's desire, because, again, it will take a long time to use up a roll Go just one roll of plastic.
Well, and you know the other thing about this little micro RC. Okay, I like this truck. It's a you know, for $30, it's a really nice truck. It's just obviously for $30, you know, the steering servo wasn't very good, and um, I already own the truck. I guess I'm looking at it that this way. When if I can, now granted, it's going to cost me a little bit of money, whatever I have to put into it to get it built the way that I want it, but at the same time, like, I already own the truck. You know, what does it hurt to actually sit and mess with it a little bit, or kind of Frankenstein it and see if I can do something with it?
Yeah.
I know. I'll have to think about that.
Well, actually, you know, like Tucker's, just the updated. I went and bought my customized Derek, because it has like proportional. It's just all left or all right. That's what Derek's were. Now they're, yeah. It's not as nice proportional control as my expensive one, but it's, again, it very, very usable, serviceable. And those things are still like 50, 60 bucks. And again, if you look at, oh, that's that WPL man. Go on Thingiverse. There is tons of things already designed. Like, that's where I found the bumpers, printed them, except for they didn't have a trailer hit. Trailers. So what I did is took the design of this bumper that they designed it to fit on this, and then I put it in Tinkercad, and then eventually Vespa, make it all it. But then made a square receiver hitch, and then put the stud or bolt it, whatever, so you can tow various trailers. We already have, you know, toy trailers of cat. You know, there's always that route too. Happen to get a fairly popular, well, and again, Traxxas R4s, tons of accessories. Yeah. Actually, they're technically their build is a 120 scale. They're actually bigger than 120 scale. They got some like Chevy Blazers, FMF. They're under $100, and but
yeah, I saw those. I was looking into all that stuff today.
Those are, and you know, watch some video reviews, but those have all, well, actually, a couple features that my pickup doesn't. Mainly like kind of the big function and but anyway, they're like super capable. They're super detailed too. And I always thought one of those kind of like you.
Yeah. For some reason, I've got this. I like really compact, small RCs. I mean, I do like.
Well, there are, and then there's tons, and again, there's already tons of aftermarket stuff that you buy, and then there's tons of printable things to wheels. You know, of course, the top comes off like the real blade. that, and then we'll have different accessories they can put in there. Well, and here's something. I mean, if you want to be realistic, you print, you know, you print a file of a dog, and then you got your, you got the dog in the back and stuff like that, or in a person, people or drivers, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's just depending on how scale you. Actually, but I'm gonna cut a headland here, and then we 9:30.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't.
I'm headed to my thing tomorrow.
Oh no, that's right. Cause that's why we're doing. Well, anyway, I gotta work tomorrow, and it's gonna be just in this other. It shouldn't be too busy, but.
Well, that's what happened to us on Wednesday. Was everybody pretty much left at noon, so the end of the day was just pretty much 3 of us in engineering and
we got
a random person here and there.
We got to leave
in the office.
It had a total of like 3 phone calls, 1 will call, actually. And UPS and FedEx weren't pickup, so we couldn't. The warehouse guys got things processed for shipping. We couldn't go out the doors, so tomorrow was full day. I don't. There's a couple of things I gotta do. Like an hour max worth of work that I know I will have to take care of tomorrow. After that, it's whatever comes up. A lot of our customers, they're closed or they're. Have anything to do. I don't know. I shouldn't have too many fire grill. Almost.
This is full.
I was gonna say that's either full or.
Yeah, it's full. I'll take it. Well, and another reason why I got Courseplay, or probably the bigger reason why I got Courseplay, isn't necessarily for us in stream. I mean, I think there's aspects that will be nice having it in stream, but it was more so that, like, instead of taking 8 to 10 streams to do a field of potatoes, I could come in and work off stream on a field.
Yeah.
and I could do. Technically, it'll allow me to do both jobs by myself. You know. Essentially, I'm just automating the job, which is kind of weird thinking about it. Because thinking about it, I guess. I mean, it helps me. It's a helper, but at the same time, basically, it's just a computer program telling the computer to run a routine, so that technically I'm not even playing a game. I'm just viewing I can set the whole thing so I'm just watching. I'm not even playing my own game.
Yeah.